Hey everyone, it's Pup Luca, and welcome to the next episode of the Paw'dCast. Now this week we're going to mix it up and have a very special interactive episode with a scratch and sniff. Enjoy!
To be honest, I think I'd prefer a lick to a scratch, but then I don't really think I stink.
Well, welcome anyway. For those of you who don't know, it is my Sash brother, Bowser.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome to Brisbane.
Thank you. It's been less sweaty this time. Lovely.
Yeah, you've come in winter this time.
Why is it cold?
I know. See, Queensland does get cold.
I just heard it's wet.
It's wet. That's the summer. It's a wet heat because you have a dry heat.
Yes, we like a dry heat.
Yeah. I'm getting evils from the side from Auxity over there. We've got a fun little audience again this week. Doing a few little episodes ahead of time just because...
No, don't let them see behind the curtain. It's all production magic.
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 We've gone ASMR again. I keep doing this. Don't even know what it means. I think my last guess was, I think I tried to guess ASMR was like audio sound and then realised that's the same thing.
Audio sound magic recording.
Oh, stunning. That's your new podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to Bowser's audio sound magic recordings. It's just you making pig noises. I'd listen. It'd be quite fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure
somebody would need to because I'd go mad.
I think it'd be quite a lot more popular than you think, just you making...
Pig noises. Well, thank you. I'll put that under advisement with the Pig Council.
Well, you have your little piggy hog references with your fundraising
Yes, I like
pins.
a pig, actually. Yeah.
They're quite nice.
Oh, my God. Havana's got to me, too.
Oh, she has. She gets around that one.
Oh, okay. Good
I
to
just
know.
meant influential-wise with her voice and mannerisms, not...
Oh, so did I, yes.
Yes. If we were talking about my other regular co-host, I would be saying it in a different way.
Oh, that one.
There's a reason
Gotcha.
she's catcher-looking. And always see you watching.
Oh, dear.
But yeah, little reference back to the pig and the hog is your little fundraising pins.
Yeah, so
they're quite fun.
have been selling those, raising money for charity for Q Life. Very happy with the support that I've gotten so far. And if you're ever interested in buying some, they're still on sale. You can find me at Bowser Pig on Instagram and Twitter. They're up for sale whenever you'd like through the Bears Perth website.
Stunning.
Yeah.
So you got two different designs. You've got your standard little...
Yeah, I do. So the two designs kind of reflect a little bit of a duality of me as both a switch and a kind of dom and sub side to myself. So one has kind of a more butch masculine aspect to it, and the other is kind of a little more cute, little, I guess.
Clever wording.
It was the same word twice, so I don't know if I can accept that one, but yeah.
It's magic. Just let them accept it. Yeah.
Audio sound magic recording.
Yep. She's back. Finally, Ted, you mentioned bears over in Perth.
Yeah.
So tell us about that community, because you mix between the pups and the bears as well. So what's that like for you?
I certainly do. Honestly, the bears... Check.
Crossing that off my list.
The bears and the pups in Perth are very supportive of one another. The pups have been coming along to bears for a long time, supporting that community, and the same has been said of a lot of the bears as well coming to pup events. And so a lot of that is to do with, frankly, the work that people like Auxity have done, previous presidents like Renee as well as our current president Kingsley, who is very supportive of all of the pups coming along. So that's really important because there is a severe lack of spaces that are accepting of everybody in Perth, unfortunately, purely because we have less spaces than a lot of other cities. So having a space where, a pup can come along and wear their hood is just lovely.
I remember when we both went for APHC, a lot of the events were helped run by the bears over there. And it was great to see that side of the community, especially from our point of view in Brisbane, because we've got so many different groups now. We've got you've got Buko, you've got Queensland Leather Pride, you've got Brisbane's as well, and it's finding like time to support each other and do. It's more like we go to each other's events and we support by attending, but seeing a comp that was like run by both groups was really, really fun to see.
Yeah, it was great. That was a real highlight for me. That was Meet and Sniff, and that was incredible. That was a really good turnout from everybody. It was blistering hot, and everyone was sweating quite a lot. I think you were wearing a jacket because you're insane.
Yeah, I am insane. Because a couple of weeks before the comp, my order from Mr. Regelio, not sponsored, but please sponsor me. I love their stuff. It's so good. No, I got a PVC biker jacket from them, and I wanted to wear it for the comp, and I planned for Meet and Sniff because I thought it was going to be indoors, not in the very dry heat of Borloo in October in a tennis club. But I pictured tennis club like English tennis clubs, which is a little clubhouse. You're indoorsy. I
mean, it was pretty small, but yeah, you don't.
It was a cute little clubhouse. It was I really liked the venue. Yeah, it's nice. It was really fun, and it was easy to mingle. But yeah, I was in long pants and a PVC jacket in Perth in October.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot all the time, but yeah, it was hot.
Yeah. I committed to the look.
And kudos to you. I wouldn't want to see debrobing from that. Would have been quite sweaty.
Yes, I think I would have been better off wearing my latex for that event, which still would have been hot.
Self-cleaning, really.
Self-cleaning, easier to clean, easier to wash instead of a lined PVC jacket.
Yeah, Jesus. Not very breathable, that, is it?
No, not at all.
But yeah, that event was fantastic. It was blistering hot, but everybody came out. It was lovely. Lots of the Bears community came out to support the pups, and obviously there was so many pups and handlers from all over Australia that came over to support Perth.
Amazing.
Which made me feel absolutely incredible. Made everybody in Perth feel absolutely incredible because we are often forgotten on the other side of the country because we're just so far away and it's prohibitively expensive for most people to just take a jaunt over to Perth. So that was lovely.
It is. And people not within Australia really do not realise how big this country is.
It's quite large.
But I grew up in the UK and me knowing that, Perth's on the other side of the country and it's a big country. And it's not until you're here and actually make that trip that you realise how far it is.
Yeah.
It's such a long way. And I was so proud to go over to Perth and represent Queensland and make the effort of going over because the APHC the year before, Brisbane got to host it. Yeah. And like Jax came over and there was a big group of WA pups that all came over. And I wasn't competing part production. I was just there socially. And I think I spent pretty much all 4 days of events and social things hanging out with the WA group. And it was my first proper time experiencing event drop afterwards because I had such a really good social event the entire time, even outside of comp. Just from the pups that I chatted to after the last event on the Sunday afternoon, I got a message from them going, hey, we're going out for dinner tonight. Do you want to come?
Yeah.
And just the little things like that. And I was like, oh, this is really nice. And then we went to dinner, did more social things, said goodbye to some of them Monday morning. And yeah, it was like my first feeling of event drop, which is weird because it's talked about a lot and then I hadn't really experienced it till then.
Yeah, it's different experiencing it. That particular event was the first of the 2 times that Jax has given me event drop for an event that I didn't attend. Because I wasn't actually there at the time. So I don't know how many people would know this, but Jax, for their Australian run at Australian Puppy, competed quite last minute. And I had intended not to come along to APHC because I couldn't get time off work.
Yep.
So when they told me they were, I was quite cross with them because I want to support them. But no, I watched from afar. I cried a lot and I felt lovely for them and supported them when they came back.
Yep.
But yeah, drop from afar. That's fun.
Yeah, it happens too. It's not necessarily being at an event that makes you drop. Regardless if you're going to a title event or even just a regular night out event where they throw on, it can be...
What was the question again?
We don't know. Again, we love a tangent. It's going to be the new tagline of the podcast is just, we love a tangent.
Yeah.
We do. One fun question for you is, what drew you to pet play?
Oh, so this is a very long-winded story, I would say. Not actually. Luca's checking the clock. Damn it.
I'm not. I went for my beverage.
They're lying. Don't believe them. So this is one of those things that I discovered through that lovely, lovely thing we call the internet.
Yes, I've heard of her.
Yeah, don't get it. We only just got it in Perth. It's. I'm kidding. We're very civilized. I'm getting evil eyes. But it's something that I discovered through the internet, and it fascinated me. I've always had a bit of a interest in kind of cross-sectional space of furry spaces as well as pup spaces. And I discovered quite a lot of it online. And I had a severe interest that I pursued personally for a very long time as a puppy. It was difficult to find anybody that wanted to kind of partake in it with me, despite my interest in showing it to a lot of people privately. It was only, say, in the last 5 to 6 years when more people were outwardly displaying it and being more positive and receptive towards the kink that I came out and more publicly showed my interest. Initially as a puppy, but then also because I had experienced individually with a bunch of dynamics with individual people, a handler, because I felt that I could offer my view from the other side as well. And I still do some play as a puppy, though I find these days that I'm certainly more handler headspace focused.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I came from. It was a long-winded story. I think I have to thank my good friend Oscar for being the one to finally say, hey, just come along. And they brought me to, firstly, to dinner with a couple of people where I met Pup Dodger for the very first time. At the time, they were not going by that moniker, but Pup Dodger for the very first time. And then we just happened to walk over to Jax's apartment. And I had a great time being very awkward and not talking to people there initially because Jax was very adamantly talking about Drag Race. And then we went to the Bears, oddly enough, and had a great time.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leading into like what you said about spaces and dom sub and everything like that is a lot of people will assume that the handler has to be the dom or the alpha has to be the dom. And if you're a beta or an omega, you're full sub and that's kind of it. But that really isn't the case.
Yeah, it's a very old guard notion, given that pup play arose from the leather scene as kind of a degradation and humiliation dynamic. But as with many things, these dynamics evolve as people explore them further and have a more broad understanding of what they find interesting about something. And so many people don't think of it that way anymore. They don't have a sub-dynamic in their pup headspace, or they may not have a sexual dynamic at all. It may just be a playful thing. Yep. So it's really important to remember that and to not project too much what you see online or what you see in a broad strokes kind of perception of something. And so I personally don't think of it that way. I know a lot of puppies that are unashamedly very dominant, and that's completely fine. I will occasionally, even with the play that I've done with partners that I've had, been a very sooky and a very submissive handler, which is fun.
Yeah.
Something a little bit different.
But I've switched in and out of the dom sub roles as well, being currently having an alpha and being a beta pup. But I also have an alpha space.
Yeah.
Which again fluctuates between dominant and submissive. Some days I'm a very bratty beta who is telling my alpha what to do and he will just listen to me and accept it. And then there's other days where I will try that and he rises up and becomes more dom.
Yeah.
And then because of that, I switch instantly into the full submissive mode, and it can go both ways. And this isn't even just talking about sexual play. This is just generally as well. Like we could be talking about anything, and then we'll be batting, and sometimes I'll back down, sometimes he'll back down, and it fluctuates between the two. And it's okay to be fluid in your dom submissive spaces, not just in the pup scene, but just in general.
Yeah, I love a fluid. No, you're right. And I think the most important thing there is that getting obsessed with a label or a particular dynamic is not necessarily helpful. I think what is most important is that communication is very clear, that you discuss what your interests are, whether they be falling within the realm of a dominant or a submissive mindset, or neither, and being very clear with whomever you're interacting with.
Yeah, communication is definitely a key point, especially in those play spaces where you're having the sexual times within the pup scene as well.
Yeah.
Communication is always the first point. Discuss what you're into, discuss your limits. Never be ashamed to say something that you want to try.
Yeah. Which is a difficult thing to do, and it definitely takes a lot of courage on both sides, both to be non-judgmental if you don't happen to be receptive to that kind of dynamic, and also if you are honestly sharing what is core to yourself, something that you're really passionate about, but you don't know if it's going to be receptive. That does take a lot to put out into the world as well.
Yeah, it's opening up to your significant other, your person you're close to, the person you're having playtime with, all that sort of stuff, being courageous enough to be open about it, but also courageous enough to listen to theirs.
Exactly.
And also courageous enough to understand that if they're not into it, it's okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Consent is sexy and, of course, mandatory.
Of course. One thing with you as well, being a beautiful body positive person and sex positive person as well. So tell us a little bit about your story there.
So, I have always been a fairly large boy for pretty much my whole life, and there's been a constant interplay and struggle there about accepting my body as it is and understanding that it's okay to be sexual and to be sexy and to show that to other people. Because it was always, and it often is, the view in society that if you're a larger person, that is a flaw that you need to hide and that you can't be viewed as sexy or beautiful. And that doesn't just extend to people that are larger. It extends to people with disability, both mental and physical, or somebody who is just not able to be present in spaces for whatever reason. Maybe they're just very distant. These are all things that alienate people, that don't make them as visible. And we treat these people like they're less important. And I think it was a real struggle for me growing up to feel sexual and to feel present. And that's why I think it's been so important, as I've embraced the fetish community, in particular the pup play community, to start embracing my sexual side and accepting that, yes, it is okay for people who are larger to feel sexual and to show sexual sides to themselves, to everybody. You don't necessarily have to share the appreciation of my body. That's fine. There's plenty of people who do. And I will still feel sexy in that space.
Stunning.
But yeah, it's a fun journey to go through, and it's not something that's ever resolved. I think it's something that you probably have to have an interplay back and forth with.
Yeah, and I think everyone has some part of them that is always worried about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm at the point now where I will have a little fluctuation days where I'm slim. I try and look after myself when I can, kind of thing. But there's always that little bit in the back of my brain that's going, you're not a skinny twink. Like the visual, you're not muscly either.
Yeah.
I'm in that little category where I feel like I'm not attractive to people because I don't have that go-to skinny twink body, but I'm also not muscly and ripped jock kind of pup. And seeing a lot, especially on more explicit websites online, they're kind of the only two pups that I see more prominent, is the very slim. And again, there's nothing wrong with being skinny twinky body or muscle puppy, or it's amazing. It's just I wish I saw more of myself in others online. I'm not an overly sexual pup anyway. I have my little moments here and there, but for me it's predominantly a headspace thing.
Yeah,
but just finding, again, that body image where I'm happy and others are happy, and understanding that.
Yeah, no, I understand completely. It's a difficult thing, and it's a journey that everybody kind of has to take for themselves. I think that the fetish community broadly, and specifically pup play, is often a great way to express yourself that breaks away from some of the norms that are set for beauty. I think that's a really important outlet to have. It's been great for me. I know that other people will have their other outlets here that may help them find beauty in themselves. I know drag is often a way that many people of a larger stature end up feeling more beautiful because they can take on a persona. But there's tons of ways that this kind of enrichment of your own body and this emboldening of yourself can take place.
Yeah, and like finding that, like you said, the drag persona, and finding your pup persona as well, it's the same thing. You're finding that thing to boost you and trust yourself in what you look like. And it was true, like when I joined the pup scene, that has really helped with how I feel about my body image as well, of feeling accepted, because puppies just love puppies.
Yeah.
It's just the attention, the playfulness, the stupidity. It's just a very, very welcoming community. And like we said earlier, it's making that first step to go to your first event. It's terrifying.
It absolutely is, yeah. And that's something that gets approached somewhat regularly, both by myself and other publicly visible members of the community. How do I get along to my first event? And there's no correct answer to that question. No. It's going to depend a lot on you, but we're always here to help guide people through that process.
Yeah, for me, it's if people aren't sure what to do, aren't sure how to attend or anything like that, just send me a message.
Yeah.
Just chat to me.
Have a discussion. As always, the answer is always more communication.
Always communicate, literally.
Yeah.
It is just, send us a message, whether it's I can attend the event with you to support you, I can give you advice, or we just chat online and see what your comfortability is. Because you don't have to, I know we have, in Brisbane, we've got our moshes once a month, which is a very chill vibe. Downstairs at Sporties, it's a social thing. There's a ball pit you can lay on. There's some bean bags. There's some, a giant Connect 4 and Jenga.
Yeah, you're playing board games. Lovely.
Yeah, it's a chill social vibe, which we're trying to make a bit more open. And we don't want that big, for your first event, if you're attending, a party club night, that's very overstimulating.
Yeah, there's a sensory nightmare.
Yeah.
And if you're signing up for that, that's fine. But if you're already in your head about going to a new space where maybe you don't know many people, or maybe there is a ton of very intimidating bodies, in my instance, for example, you don't need that. You need something that is much lower energy and has more friendly faces and conversations that you can have rather than loud noises and images and lights and
find your local people, your local Paw'dS. There's Paw'dS in most states in Australia now. So it's
that's right.
Reach out to people, do some research online, message them, because the Paw'dS are there to help you. Yeah. They're there for the community to support them. Both of us being part of both QPAR, WayPAR. You've got SIDPAR, VicPAR. There's CPAR now in Canberra. Have I missed one? I'm paranoid now. SAPAR. They're great. Love them. Went to one of their events in Adelaide. It's like a chill pub thing. We just went and just had lunch and just talked shit. It was great.
Adelaide's great. Need to get back again.
Oh, same. Can't wait to go back. Might go to Geared this year.
Ooh, how exciting. Let's see if I can get the leave. Oh, I'd love to.
I say that now. I've recently started a new job, and because of that, our busy time of the year is October and November, which is
no one else is busy that time
of the
year. No one else is busy that time of the year, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And then because we specialize on making costumes and stuff for people, it's competition time for a lot of the other groups. And it's I would like time off, please.
No, you are strapped to a sewing machine.
It's literally what it feels like some days, some weeks. Tell us a little bit about, there's some events over in Perth that I know you attend quite frequently at Steamworks.
Oh, yeah. So Steamworks is a sex on-premise venue in Boorloo, Perth. We've run a number of events there over the course of Bear's Perth tenure. Most recently, we ran Growl Fetish, which was a night focusing more primarily on play. Often the parties that we have in Perth are very focused around a kind of clubbing atmosphere, so lots of dance and lots of music, which are both present at Growl as well, but the focus with Growl was more social and sexual spaces intermingling, which allows for a much lower energy dynamic and allowing people to experience a play that is more friendly. So that was a really positive moment for me. And most recently, the sauna has started up a new event called Fluid,
I saw some things online about that, yeah.
Which is very new and very exciting. Typically, Steamworks has been a male and male presenting only space, but Fluid is a night for anybody who would like to come along, and primarily focusing on gender fluidity. So allowing that space for people to be sexual whilst also not necessarily fitting the standard operating clientele for that sauna. And I think that is, in my opinion, what is lacking within a lot of these spaces is making them less masculine and less cis-focused, and allowing more people into these spaces and having a mixed dynamic where there is more play going on with people of other sexualities and genders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. During Sydney Mardi Gras this year, I went to Gear Up, which was my first time attending a sex and premises venue. You were, and I'm glad you were there. You were like an emotional crutch for me at one point, because I've been very, almost scared to attend a sex on premises. Like I said, my part space isn't very sexual, but I have my moments.
Yeah, of course.
And going into a place that I knew that was happening, I'm not overly into public, that sort of thing. So I was always in the back of my mind, am I going to be expected that if I'm going to this event, do I have to play? Kind of thing, and going to that event and having those people around and going, no, it's just there's rooms where this is going on and you can just mingle in the other rooms and just chat to people and social and just wear all of your sexy gear and whatever you want to wear. I think I was in latex that night.
Yeah, I think you were.
Yeah.
Something pink and blue, maybe? Do you wear pink and blue?
I think it was actually pink and black.
I can't remember.
I think it was.
I'm a dumb pig. Yeah.
Well, welcome to the new podcast of Dumb Pig and Dumb Pup.
Hey.
Our little audience over there is just losing it. I think Jax is going bright red. He's nearly matching his t-shirt.
But yes, Gear Up was fantastic. Studio Kink puts on a lovely event.
It was fantastic.
That was my first time coming along to something over there, run by Studio Kink, and the environment was very welcoming, very warm, very friendly, and also filthy.
It was filthy and gender diverse. It was great.
And while we're speaking about gender diverse parties that are sexual and have play, Melbourne has, of course, Hanky, and I believe of recent Trough has gone gender diverse as well. So it seems to be the way that things are going, and I'm all for it.
I've been meaning to get to a Hanky this year, and I'm really trying.
It's difficult.
But trying to line it up with other things is getting tricky, but I'm trying my best.
Australia's too big. Can we make it smaller?
Yeah,
just a little bit.
We should wash it and then put it on a high heat dry clean. That will shrink it.
You know about garments, yeah.
Yeah. Australia's it's just a garment, really.
Sure.
Whatever that means.
You tell me.
I don't know. We've gone into Australia as a garment now. This is as bad as Katya with the earth is flat.
Does Katya think the earth is flat?
No, she's just a bit thick.
Like the flat earth.
Sure. She also said nothing tastes like nothing, which she's not wrong.
I kind of think nothing tastes like my mouth.
Eye contact after that sentence. I feel exposed and I don't know why.
I don't know what to add to that.
Neither do I. And on that note, let's wrap up this week. Thank you so much for being my guest, Bowser.
Thank you for having me.
You're more welcome. And we're going to end, as we usually do, with my guest doing the Luca honk. And as tradition, I didn't get you to practice before. And you get one take. So I will do the usual sign-off, and then I'm going to cue you for the honk. So remember, as always, I've been Luca, and today I was joined by Bowser. Be kind, be camp, be kinky, and always...
Onk.
I loved that. That was a great twist.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.